Hello everyone. Today we will discuss about active and passive voice under the subject of English. So stay tuned and let's get started. In English, all sentences are written in either two voices, active or passive voice. The voice of a sentence tells us whether subject is in a sentence a subject in a sentence is performing an action or receiving the action. When the subject or the performer when the subject is the performer or doer of the action, the verb is in active voice. When the subject or when the subject of the sentence is the receiver of the action, the verb is in passive voice. So what do I mean by this? So an active voice sentence would be something like this. Um, Eve has Eve sent an email. Eve sent an email. So this is an example of an active voice sentence. Well, why is it an active voice sentence? So as we have just discussed that when subject or the performer when subject is the performer or doer of the action, the verb is an active voice. So who is the subject in this sentence? Well, we know who the subject is, don't we? It's Eve. And what is Eve doing? Eve is sending an email. So, over here, the main concentration, like we're concentrating mainly on Eve. So Eve is our subject over here. So since we're concentrating on Eve and this sentence is in a particular order, for active voice, the particular order would be subject plus verb plus object plus object. Subject plus verb plus object. So this is how an active voice is. So an active voice, mostly everybody uses active voice. So you'll always, or I mean not always, mostly you will see active voice. So um, when the subject is a performer or doer of the action, here Eve is the subject. Eve is a subject, and email is the object. So Eve is doing the action. So this sentence is an active voice. But what if when this is not the case? Well, when this is not the case, we'll have passive voice. I'll just put this a little to the side. 1 second. This is not the case. We'll have active voice. Well, what is an active voice? It's pretty simple to explain. Let's see. Pull out one here, and I'm going to type here passive. Now let's take an example of passive voice. Let's convert the same sentence into passive voice and let's see what it is. So I'm gonna duplicate this. This is not needed because we already have that. Okay, so let's convert the sentence into passive voice. I'll show you how to convert active voice into passive voice, but for now, let's stick to learning what active and passive voices are. An email was sent by Eve. So this sentence over here is in passive voice. We'll see how to convert these sentences later. Now let's see how the structure for passive voice is. Let's see. Usually passive voice is object plus verb plus subject. I mean plus by plus subject. So this is the structure of a passive voice sentence. It's kind of the opposite, and we have an extra letter, extra word in between, and that is the word by. Now, an email was sent by Eve. Now, here the doer. Now, here now if we look at what is the subject, um, the subject is email, but the doer is Eve. But in this sentence, the subject and doer are the same. It's Eve. But in this sentence, in the passive voice sentence, email is the subject and Eve is the doer. So passive voice sentences um, have the object, which was an active voice, as its subject, and the doer is at the end. We say by that person, like here, by Eve. So it was done by Eve. The doer is put at the end, and the conjunction, the word by is implemented over there. So it is best to use active voice whenever possible. It's simple and easy to understand. We use passive voice when the doer of the action is obvious. For example, English is spoken all over the world. English is spoken all over the world by who? By the people, of course. So when the doer of the action is obvious, like we know who the doer of the doer is, and we don't need to specify it, we use passive voice. For example, English is spoken. God. English is spoken all over the world. So English is spoken all over the world by who? By the people. So this is just in brackets. You don't need to write this. This is we're just showing that it's by people, and we don't need to mention it, because it's obvious that it's English is spoken by people. Animals cannot come and speak English, right? And we use passive voice when we don't know the doer. So this was when the doer is the doer and it's obvious, and now it's the doer when the doer is not known, like my bag was stolen. That's my bag was stolen. Now, but stolen by who? I don't know. So by someone. This someone is optional. So the someone over here is optional. So we don't need to write by someone. If you can, but it's not necessary. Even for the first sentence, English is spoken by all over the world. It's the same case. It's not necessary for you to mention that English is spoken all over the world. When the person or thing acted upon the action is more important than the doer of the action. Doer more important than the doer, or when the doer is irrelevant. For example, laws have been passed in Nevada, Florida, and California allowing self-driving cars on the roads. Well, so now the doer of the action is not necessary. Laws have been passed. The important thing is that the law has been passed. So that's the main thing, and the doer of the action here is not necessary. I'm not typing that huge sentence. Let's just say laws have been passed allowing self-driving cars on the roads. Well, here the doer is not necessary, so we don't need to put by this person or by that person, because it's not necessary. Now we have in informal speeches and reports. So when we're speaking to a higher authority and we want to be formal, we use passive voice. So we say like, meals have been cooked by me. Let's say we're talking to our boss and we have a family dinner. You can be, the meals have been cooked. But we don't say I cook the meals. That would, it's not necessary that it's rude, but it's not formal. So when we say formal speeches, formal speeches and reports, we mean somewhat like these sentences here. They're passive, but they're formal. There are a few points we must keep in mind about passive voice. Sentences with intransitive verbs cannot have passive voice. So, what are intransitive verbs? Intransitive verbs are like verbs without objects. For example, the baby cried, the child sleeps. So, let's say the baby cries. Now, this sentence doesn't have a verb. I mean, it has a verb. I meant it doesn't have an object. We have a subject, and that is the baby, and we have a verb, that is cries. But we don't have an object over here, so we cannot convert an active voice into a passive voice. This cannot be converted into passive voice because over here you can see that an object is compulsory. An object is compulsory over here. Well, over here the object is optional. The object is optional. But in passive voice it's compulsory because the object itself starts the sentence, right? So in active voice it's optional. Like this sentence over here is an active voice. The baby cries. It's an active voice sentence. Passive voice is possible only for verbs with objects, that is transitive verbs. So if there are two objects, any one of the two can be made the subject. However, a person is usually made the subject of the sentence rather than the inanimate object. For example, we gave a birthday gift to Sam. We gave a birthday gift to Sam. Birthday gift is the direct object and Sam is the indirect object. So we say Sam was given a birthday gift. So and by us is obvious that we gave it. So we don't need to mention that. We have that for we gave a birthday gift to Sam. And this in passive voice would be a birthday gift was given by us. A birthday gift was given to Sam by us, or Sam was given the birthday gift by us, or Sam was given a birthday gift. So there are many ways you can write all of this. Sam was given the birthday gift, or we have another way of writing this. Let me duplicate it. Oh god. Okay, so we have another way of writing the same sentence, and it's still correct. A birthday gift was given to Sam. So in these two passive voice sentences, there's a small difference. In the first passive voice sentence, we are highlighting Sam. So we're highlighting Sam. But in the second passive voice sentence, we are highlighting a birthday gift. So it all depends how we put the passive voice sentence for us to make the subject, for what we want the subject to be and what we want to highlight. If you want to highlight Sam, we put Sam in the beginning. If you want to highlight the birthday gift, you put a birthday gift in the beginning. And the word and by us, that can be eliminated. By us, this can be omitted. We know what omitted means, right? It means it can be removed. So there are few criterias according to the tenses for which we can convert active voice into passive voice. But before we learn that, let's learn how we convert an active voice to a passive voice. So now let's see how we convert an active voice sentence to a passive voice sentence. To be honest, it's pretty simple. First, let's take an active voice sentence. Um, let's say it should be a pretty simple one. Yeah, he fixed my car. So this is my active voice sentence. So we know that the sentence is in active voice, right? Let's see. Active voice. So the sentence is in active voice sentence. Now we want to convert this sentence into passive voice. So we want to convert from active to passive. So from active to passive, what was the structure we learned earlier? So the structure was that the active voice is subject plus verb plus object, and we can see that over here: subject, verb, and object. And now for passive voice, it's object plus verb plus by plus subject. This order here is actually according to active voice sentence. Even in passive voice, the sentence order would be subject plus verb plus by plus object. But for convenience, we take it as object plus verb plus by plus subject for so that we could understand how the sentence formation is. Sorry about that. Now he fixed my car. Now to convert into passive voice, I want my car to come to the beginning, and I want the word he to go to the ending. So the word fixed would remain the same. So that's one of the very important rule in converting active to passive. The tense should not change at all. So okay, wait, I can't. Right, I just realized that. So the tense must not change, must not change during conversion. So this is a very important thing to keep in mind, that the tense must not change during conversion. Fixed should remain fixed. Am like doing should remain doing. It should only be in perfect. If the sentence is in simple past, it should be only in simple past. If the sentence should be in simple, if the sentence is in past continuous, it should only be in past continuous. By the way, if you want to learn more about these tenses, check out my video on the tenses. It will be linked in the top right corner and in the description below. So the tense should remain the same. It should not change at all. So how do we do that? So it should be like that. So now if I simply move it like this and follow this structure over here, let me drag it down. So if we follow the structure over here, we would see that the sentence would completely change into something. Wait, I'll write it separately so that you can know the changes. Oh God. Oh. So the sentence would be the car was fixed. The car was fixed by him. Now, as you can see, we have added an extra verb, was. Well, this verb has been added so that to maintain the state, I mean the tense of the sentence. This was in simple past. The sentence is in simple past, and this sentence is also in simple past. We don't want the tense to change at all. This is a very, very important rule when in active and passive voice. So we have another type of conversion stuff like direct and indirect speech. In that, there's a completely different rule, and we'll learn about that in a different video. Once I finish making the video, I will link it down in the description. Here it should be the same. Simple past will always be simple past when we are converting active to passive. So the car was fixed by him. Now I have this bit. Sorry, I'm using arrows. If you want, we can change the to. Oh, wait. If you want, we can change the word the. Instead of the, we can put my. That's more of the actual sentence. My car was fixed by him. So the word he over here will become him, because it won't make sense if we say my car was fixed by he. We cannot use he over here. So my car was fixed by him, and my car would come in the beginning, and fixed would remain as it is. So let me make this chart a bit more, convincing. So wait, I'll erase everything over here, and I'm gonna erase this too. Now he has turned into him. My car was turned into is still my car. I meant that it changed its position. He became him and went to the ending. My car came to the beginning as a subject, and fixed was fixed. So it's all. So this is how you convert an active sentence into a passive sentence. I mean, in more technical terms, active voice into passive voice. So we have to always follow this format. But there are a few tenses where we cannot change it. We will learn about that a little later. But before that, let's do a few more examples of converting from active voice to passive voice. So let's see. I'll move all of this a little up, and now I'll give you another sentence. Let's say, let me think. Okay, let's say Celine draws beautiful pictures. Okay, Celine draws beautiful pictures. Now this sentence is an active voice. Now I want to convert the same sentence into passive voice. So this sentence here is an active voice. I want it to become into passive voice. So how do I change it? I'll give you 5 minutes time. 5 seconds time. Okay, fine. 10 seconds time for you to solve this question. It's pretty easy. Come on. So convert this sentence into passive voice in 10 seconds. Time starts now. Well, your time's up. So Celine draws beautiful pictures. So how do we convert that into passive voice? It's pretty simple. We have to replace everything. So what would be the answer? Beautiful pictures are drawn by Celine. Beautiful. Beautiful pictures are drawn by Celine or Celine, I'm not sure. Beautiful pictures are drawn by Celine. So what have we done here? We have made beautiful pictures the subject. Oh my god. We have made beautiful pictures the subject. Celine went to the end, and draws. So draws have become are drawn. See, as you can see, the tense has not changed. This is in simple present, SPR, and this is also in simple present. It has not changed the tense. Are drawn. It's see, the word are shows you that it's still the word are shows you that it's still in simple present and it has not changed. So and the word draws over here shows you that it's still in simple present. So I'll give you one last example. Once we solve this, let's go into the tenses, into about the tenses. So one more. Anil made a frame. Anil made a frame. So this is pretty simple, right? I'll make it a little tough. Anil, instead of that, I'll make Max and Sam together. Max and Sam together are painting a beautiful picture. A beautiful picture. So now I'll give you 10 seconds. No, this is a bit big, right? I'll give you 15 seconds time. So in this 15 seconds time, I want you to convert this sentence into a passive voice sentence. Well, your time's up. Max and Sam together are painting a beautiful picture. Now it's pretty simple to come to think of it. The sentence would be a beautiful. A beautiful. Let me look at the sentence. A beautiful picture is being painted by Max and Sam. If this is your answer, well done, it's correct. So this is in passive voice. So let's go through. Let's analyze this. Now Max and Sam is one word. Max and Sam, and now we have a beautiful picture here and are painting over here. These are the main words. The word together can be omitted if you want. Otherwise, you can include it in the picture. I mean, in the sentence. A beautiful picture is being painted by Max and Sam together. Beautiful picture is being painted together by. No, together should be omitted actually. Let's see. Together can be omitted if you find a sentence, if you can convert the same sentence into passive voice with the word together. Comment down below. So a beautiful picture is being painted by Max and Sam. Now how did we converted it and we put Max and Sam in the ending, a beautiful picture in the beginning, and our painting has become being painted. Now this is being painted. So now this is being painted is, you might ask, over here ed is there. This ed does not show past. Well, it kind of does, but we don't look at this word, but we look at this word, the word being and is. These we look at mainly these two words, is being. So now this indicates that it's still in the same tense. And can you guess which tense it is? Yes, it's present continuous. So this bit shows us that it's still in present continuous and has not changed into past continuous or anything, because the word is here. We have the word is, we have being, and it has ing in the end. So all these, so it's pretty important to add all of these, because if you don't, a beautiful picture painted by Max and Sam, that would be wrong. And since if you try to make it sense, if you try to make the sentence make sound senseful, you might say a beautiful picture was painted by Max and Sam. Over there, the tense would be completely changed. Was painted. Was painted would be simple past. It will be completely different. Was painted would be simple past. We don't want simple past. We want present continuous because we want to keep the tense the same. So now let's move on to tenses, like how active voice and passive voice act according to the tenses. So here are all the 12 tenses which are there in English. So we have simple present, simple past, simple future, present continuous, past continuous, present perfect, past perfect, future perfect, and we have present perfect continuous, past perfect continuous, future perfect continuous, and future continuous. Well, as you can see, I have separated a few tenses. I've put a few in red and I've put a few in green. Well, why is that so? So the ones which I put in green can be converted into passive voice. Let's say we have a sentence in any of these tenses in the green color ones. Let's say simple present. We have a sentence in simple present. So I can convert that simple present sentence into simple present active. Okay, too many words. I'll give you a simple present sentence like we just discussed. Celine draws a beautiful picture. Draws a beautiful 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 picture. Now Celine draws a beautiful picture. Well, this sentence is a simple present sentence. Now this sentence can easily be converted into a passive voice sentence, like as we discussed above. It is a beautiful picture is being drawn. Yeah, beautiful pictures are drawn by Celine. So this sentence becomes a beautiful picture has been drawn by Celine. So we can convert it. Well, like just like that, we can have sentences in all of these tenses, but that and we can convert them into passive. But all of these sentences which we have over here cannot be, unfortunately, cannot be converted into passive. They cannot be converted into passive. Well, if we can try convert it, but it just won't sound grammatically correct. So the sentences in this form cannot be converted. Sometimes you can have in your exams a trick question. They can give you like a present perfect continuous tense sentence, and they might ask you to convert it into passive. Well, it might be a trick question. So please also always check the question properly and verify its tense. If you want to know more about tenses, check out my video. It'll be linked down in the description. So, and it'll also be put in the end screen. So don't worry. So that's all about the tenses. If you want, I'll give you examples for each of these sentences. So simple present, Celine draws will become Celine draws a beautiful picture. In passive voice, it will become beautiful pictures are drawn by Celine. In simple past, let's say Anil made a frame. So it'll be in passive voice, it'll become a frame was made by Anil. Present continuous. We took an example here. Max and Sam together are painting a beautiful picture. A beautiful picture is being painted by Max and Sam. Past continuous. They were whitewashing the wall yesterday. In passive, the wall was being whitewashed by them yesterday. Present perfect. They have invited you. You have been invited. In passive. Past perfect. I had eaten all the apples. In passive voice, all the apples had been eaten by me. Simple future. They will decorate the clay pots. And passive voice, it will become the clay pots have been decorated by them. So, and we have future perfect. So let's take an example. By the time you read this book, I will have left by the time you read this book. In passive voice, it will become by the time you read this, I will have left. So those are the examples. Now these tenses over here, all of these tenses cannot be converted. So do not worry about these tenses. Most probably you won't have any such trick questions as I mentioned, but if you do, please be careful with them. Well, that's about the tenses. Now we will discuss a little bit about how modals change and how the pronouns change. Since this video has become a little too long, we will continue that modals and pronouns changing in the next video. Until then, thank you. So as far we have discussed so much, and we will still continue this video in the next video. We will continue this in the next part. Since this video has become too long, I think it's around 30 or 35 minutes. I'm really sorry because I've already made another video which was too long. So really sorry, and thank you.